any health issues as such. But very frequently, you'll keep experiencing a lot of minor issues like some pain, some kind of reaction, some indigestion, gastritis. All major of them is because of your food consumption. Your stomach is very sensitive to food. So what happens, even if the quantity is altering, even if the timing is altering, your body reacts. It takes time for it to adapt to any change. So that is why you have to be a little aware. And another thing that I'm seeing, Aya, I'm seeing that your body has one particular hormonal reaction, which will always cause a lot of, it'll drain a lot of your energy. So it's very easy that you will be put off. Like someone can very easily irritate you. Someone can very easily cause you disturb your inner space. And please understand, it is neither because of you nor because of the person outside. It is just that hormonal reaction. If you understand this much, the way you respond to life will start changing. It will become a powerful cognition for you if you start listening to your body, relating with it, healing it. And I didn't see major health issues, Aya. But please keep a check on the food that you eat, the content of the food, whether it's organic or not. That will have a huge impact in your thinking, in your decision making, and in your health.
Yes. So we request Nathraj Magoya, please do get back. Christian Baran has gotten back saying, thank you more for this revelation. I started using bean organic protein. Maybe that is a problem. Christian Baranaya, I actually recommend if you could do a Google search of the ingredients. It is increasing a hormone. It is directly like just your directly it is affecting your cognition. This is increasing the stress in your body. So you can just check the ingredients. You'll be able to know that. So now with this, we have come to the conclusion of the segment, and we're going to be moving on to the next segment after a short break.
So stay tuned with us as all of us prepare for the Right International Darshan, and we'll be right back with you on the next segment of this conference.
Time itself is nothing but your decision to struggle with the same rut. Your decision to struggle with the same rut is time, Kala. Your decision to swallow time is Kala Bhairava. Conscious woman or man, be conscious being. Shrink the time through conscious will persistence. Make the future into present by being ferocious with yourself. itself is nothing but your decision to struggle with the same rut. Your decision to struggle with the same rut is time, Kala. Your decision to swallow time is Kala Bhairava. Stand. Be a conscious woman or man. Be conscious being. Shrink the time through conscious will persistence. Make the future into present by being ferocious with yourself. Itself is nothing but your decision to struggle with the same rut. Your decision to struggle with the same rut is time, Kala. Your decision to swallow time is Kala Bhairava. Stand. Be a conscious woman or man. Be conscious being. Shrink the time through conscious will persistence. Make the future into present by being ferocious with yourself.
Again, welcome back, dear viewers.
So now let us enter into this next segment and understand a little bit more about what is happening in our world today as we are preparing ourselves for the Darshan and the Diksha from Bhagavan Venkateshwara manifesting through the Supreme Pontiff Wisdom. You can let us understand really what is the need of the world today and what is the world going through, as many of us are experiencing this firsthand, the effects of COVID-19, the after effects, the side effects, and the recession induced by COVID-19 pandemic. The COVID-19 recession is a global economic recession caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. The recession began in most countries in February of 2020. And so it's been almost 2 full years since we've been in this recession worldwide. And COVID-19 lockdowns and other precautions taken in early 2020 drove the global economy into a crisis mode. Within 7 months, every advanced economy has fallen into recession. So even among the wealthiest nations, US, Canada, Australia, UK, all of these countries have experienced the effects, the after effects, the side effects of this COVID-19 pandemic in the economy, just as the Supreme Pontiff Wisdom revealed in the beginning of 2020 that the effects would be felt worldwide, that nobody will be immune to the effects of this, the side effects, the after effects of this COVID-19 pandemic. So here we can just look at a map showing the real GDP rates recorded by the International Monetary Fund. The countries in brown are those that have faced a recession. So most countries across the globe have experienced some type of recession during this pandemic. Few countries in Asia and Africa have been immune from this, but most countries, including the US, Canada, Australia, and India, have experienced the effects of this COVID-19 recession. In 2020, the stock market crashed, and this was in early 2020, around March of 2020, and this led to a sharp rise in unemployment rates. The collapse of the tourism industry has also affected many countries worldwide who depend on tourism as their main source of income, the main source of industry. In many countries, many developing countries depend upon tourism as their main source of income. And of course, the hospitality business has also collapsed during this time, as many people have stopped traveling, has stopped using any hospitality services. And again, this has affected many countries who depend on tourism and the hospitality industry as their main source of income. Countries like Singapore and many of the Caribbean countries that depend upon tourism as their main source of income. And there has been a collapse of the price of oil as people have stopped traveling as much and are forced to stay at home. Many industries are shutting down. So the price of oil has also collapsed. There has been a collapse, and of course, small businesses who are unable to keep up during this pandemic, are unable to make ends meet during this time when many people are downsizing. There has been a destabilization and collapse of the energy industry. So prior to 2020, the sustainable energy resources were of high priority. After the onset of the pandemic, there has been a 30% decrease in the investment in sustainable energy options. And of course, there's been an increase in government debt across the globe. There's been an increase in economic inequality between the rich and the poor. So unfortunately, there is a drastic inequality between how this recession, this COVID-19 pandemic has affected the rich and the poor. There's a very major gap between the two ends of society, the rich and the poor. And unfortunately, it is the poor that are most affected by this pandemic and by this recession. Many industries like the food industry workers have lost jobs, and retail industry, the workers who work in retail industry and other customer service industry, many of them, due to the global lockdown, this pandemic have lost their jobs, their livelihood itself. And there's been a major downturn in consumer activity. Of course, many people are downsizing during this time. Many people have lost jobs and of course are spending less during this time. And the market liquidity is in a very serious crisis at this time. And there's been an increase in protests, riots, and civil unrest as many are experiencing the effects of this pandemic and the gap between the rich and the poor, the inequality gap between between races, rich and poor, and many other inequalities have been brought to light during this time. And there has been shortages in food and medical supplies across the globe. And many people have been directly facing the effects of this. And of course, we are all aware of the increase in the unemployment rate as the COVID-19 pandemic has directly affected most industries. The recession saw unusually high and rapid increases in unemployment in many countries. More than 10 million unemployment cases have been filed in the US alone. Over 81 million jobs have been lost in the Asia Pacific market as well, because of the collapse of the industry in the Asia Pacific area. And the UN predicted that global unemployment would wipe out 6.7% of working hours globally, equivalent to around 195 million full-time workers. So around 195 million people or more could be are directly affected by this COVID-19 recession. And unfortunately, even if as we are able to curb this, the direct effects of this pandemic, we will still be experiencing the effects of this ongoing recession. In some countries, unemployment was expected to be around 10%, with more severely affected nations from the coronavirus pandemic having higher unemployment rates. So 10% of the population in many countries are directly experiencing unemployment due to this pandemic. And developing countries were also affected by a drop in remittance, exacerbating the COVID-19 pandemic related famine. So of course, unfortunately, the lowest, poorest members of society are most affected by this pandemic, are most hardly hit by this pandemic and the recession that has been induced because of this pandemic. And it was reported that coronavirus pandemic will cause global famines of biblical proportions. So according to the UN, because of this pandemic, there will be many people across the globe will be experiencing food insecurity and famines. And this is unlike anything we have experienced before. According to the United Nations World Food Program, they warned that a famine of biblical proportions was expected in several parts of the world as a result of this pandemic. And the release of global reports on food crises indicated that 55 countries were at risk. So of almost 200 countries, 55 countries are at risk of experiencing food insecurity, food crisis, and global famines. And nearly 1/4 of the countries across the globe are susceptible to this. A report estimates also that the number of suffering people from hunger could go up to 135 million to more than 250 million. So almost a double in the number of people who are experiencing hunger and starvation across the globe, from 135 million to almost double to around 250 million people could experience food insecurity and food crises, these food shortages. And of course, as the COVID-19 affects the global economy, it is no doubt that more and more people will be experiencing poverty. more than 500 million people have been pushed or will be pushed further into extreme poverty. According to the latest IMF growth projections, 33 developing countries will still have 20 by 2026 per capita income levels that were in 2017 PPP terms below their 2019 level. So there will be, essentially, we are moving backwards in our progress. And by 2030, poverty estimates, we find that poverty headcounts will be at least 5 million time, 5 million higher in 25 countries compared with pre-COVID-19 trends. And as a result of long-term scarring, we estimate that by 2030, 588 million people could still live in extreme poverty, an additional 50 million people compared with pre-COVID-19 estimates. So more than 50 million people are directly being pushed into extreme poverty due to this COVID-19 pandemic and the recession that has been induced from it. So this is unfortunately not just a short-term impact, even if we are able to curb the effects, direct effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, the spread of this disease, we will still be experiencing this effect of the recession that has been induced because of this pandemic in the coming years. In the next few decades, we will still be experiencing this effect. And so let's look at some of the long-term impacts of the COVID-19 on extreme poverty. COVID-19 could push 500 million people into poverty. So 500 million people, when only there are about 7 billion people in the world, 500 million of these people could be pushed into poverty due to directly the COVID-19 pandemic. An additional people in poverty due to a 20% income drop caused by the COVID-19 recession. So here you can see where most number of people will be affected is unfortunately East Asia and Pacific markets, and of course South Asia, Latin America, and Caribbean, and so on and so forth. So around more than 500 million people could be directly pushed into poverty because of this. And unfortunately, they will be feeling the impacts of this. It's just expected that people will be feeling the impacts of this even in the coming decades, even after we are able to stop this pandemic, stop the spread of COVID-19. Unfortunately, the impacts will still be there. And so let's look at some of these sectors that have also been impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. The automotive industry has also been directly impacted. New vehicle sales in the United States have declined by 40%, and the American Big Three have all shut down their US factories, as well as COVID-19 has struck automakers and slashed the production and parts orders. The industry has also lost around 210 billion in revenue in 2021. And while chip supplies are loosening up, they are far from back to normal. And the production could be hurt well into 2022. Worse, the industry faces other shortages affecting products like tires and interior plastics and seat foam. So people have reduced the amount of travel and the expenses on luxury items like cars. And of course, the energy industry has been directly impacted by this, especially the sustainable and energy industry. The demand for shock to oil was so severe that the price of American oil futures contracts became negative, bottoming out around a negative $37.63 per barrel on the West Texas Intermediate. And as traders started paying for buyers to take the product before storage capacity ran out, this was despite an earlier OPEC plus deal, which cuts world production by around 10%. And of course, the tourism industry has also been directly affected by this, as many people have reduced their travel or completely stopped their travel because of this ongoing pandemic. And the global tourism industry may shrink up to 50% due to this pandemic. And it's estimated that 63.8% proportion of travelers who say they canceled their plans due to the pandemic. And of course, transportation industry has also been directly affected by this. Some of the world's airlines could also go bankrupt because of the COVID-19 crisis. And according to an aviation consultancy, the carriers that have already collapsed because of the pandemic. So we can look at some of these carriers that have already collapsed, and we have already have gone into bankruptcy because of this ongoing pandemic. The pandemic has had a significant impact on the aviation industry due to the resulting travel restrictions, as well as the slump in demand among travelers. Significant reductions in passenger numbers have resulted in planes flying empty between airports and the cancellation of flights. Many airlines have gone bankrupt, and the cruise ship industry has also been heavily affected by a downturn, with the share prices of major cruise lines down 70 to 80%. So now that we have fully understood the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic on the global economy and many industries across the globe, and of course, directly the effect on the livelihood of people over, as we will see, around 500 million people or 500 million people experiencing poverty due to this ongoing pandemic, and will unfortunately continue to experience the effects of this pandemic in the coming years. So now that we've understood what kind of situation the world is in right now, and have statistically gone in and understood this, and have put numbers to what each and every one of us have already been experiencing, let us understand who is Bhagavan Venkateshwara and how we can receive the blessings and grace of Bhagavan Venkateshwara at this time of need, when each and every one of us are directly experiencing the effects of this pandemic. How we can connect with Bhagavan Venkateshwara and how we can receive his blessings, his grace, to experience wealth, consciousness, and abundance at this time of crisis. Venkateshwara is one of the most powerful modern day incarnations that has happened in Kali Yuga. Mahavishnu came down as Sheshadri, and Bhudevi took birth as Padmavati, and they got married and stayed on the planet Earth with the body for at least 200 years and created a beautiful kingdom, blessing the devotees with wealth, health, and all the auspicious things. So it's not just that Bhagavan Venkateshwara blesses you with abundance in the wealth dimension, but in all dimensions of life, Bhagavan Venkateshwara will directly bless you with abundance. And Venkateshwara's Murti in Tirupati is his very body. The Murti that stands today in Tirupati is the very body, the physical flesh of Bhagavan Venkateshwara. He decided to stand in Tirumala, Tirupati, making himself available to all the devotees. And Venkateshwara just became the deity, the very body, how he is standing. He just became the Archavatara. He just decided to stand there, continue to exist there in Tirumala, Tirupati, making himself available to all the devotees, disciples across the globe, making himself ready to bless and grace the devotees from Tirumala, Tirupati. And the Archavatara means the incarnation, the form of the deity, to receive all the worship and devotion of the devotees. Of course, this is the most sacred temple for Bhagavan Venkateshwara, as he himself stands there, and this is one of the most visited temples in India. So Srinivasa became the Archavatara, standing in Tirumala and gracing the whole world, the whole universe, showering wealth, health, and all the spiritual benefits. Venkateshwara has Sri Devi Mahalakshmi, the goddess of wealth and prosperity, within his chest. And so here is the Shastra Pramana for Bhagavan Venkateshwara from the Vaishnava Khanda, the Venkatachala Mahatmyam in the Skanda Purana. And it describes Venkateshwara, the one who gets the darshan of Lord Venkateshwara, even once attains salvation, he shall attain Sayuja with Vishnu. So today we will be blessed to receive the darshan of Bhagavan Venkateshwara manifesting through the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And we will have the great punya, the great blessings of receiving this darshan, which according to the pramana, the shastras, that you can literally attain salvation just from one darshan of Bhagavan Venkateshwara. And in the Brahmanda Purana, it also contains the Sri Venkateshwara Sahasranama, the 1008 names of Bhagavan Venkateshwara, which occurs as the conversation between sage Vashishta and sage Narada, and also the Venkateshwara Ashtottara Stotram, the 108 names of Bhagavan Venkateshwara. And in this verse, it describes in the Krita Yuga, Lord Narasimha, in the Treta Yuga, Lord Sri Rama, in the Dvapara Yuga, Lord Sri Krishna, and in the Kali Yuga, Lord Sri Venkateshwara are called as the Pratiksha Devams, the living deities. And Bhagavan Venkateshwara as the living deity, as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, manifesting through the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, is making himself available for all of humanity to connect with and to receive the blessings of at this time of crisis. And the Atma Pramana, the experience of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself, of Bhagavan Venkateshwara, the connection of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself, Bhagavan Venkateshwara, as Venkateshwara is the very muscle memory of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And in the words of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, he describes, I have a very strong connection with Venkateshwara. My mother came to know that she was carrying me when she was on a pilgrimage to the Venkateshwara temple in Tirupati. She did the Anga Pradakshina, the circumambulation of the temple, by rolling on the floor around it. And after that, she vomited. Usually people vomit after the Anga Pradakshina. They gave her the prasada, the consecrated food of laddu, the fried Indian sweet. And after that, also again, she started vomiting. Then the elders saw the pulse and confirmed that she was carrying. The first sweet I got is from Venkateshwara. I have a strong connection with Bhagavan Venkateshwara. And in the Vishnu Sahasranama Palashruti, verse 6, it describes, he becomes endowed with great reputation and becomes the foremost amongst his kith and kin. He acquires the undiminished wealth in this world and unexcelled prosperity in the other worlds, meaning liberation. And Bhagavan Venkateshwara bestows all the Ananta Kalyana Gunas, the divine auspicious qualities, and the one who worships him receives abundance and wealth in all other dimensions of life. So here are just some of the few benefits of worshipping Bhagavan Venkateshwara as we get ready to receive the darshan of Bhagavan Venkateshwara, manifesting through the Nijavatara, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. So in today's darshan, Bhagavan Venkateshwara will be manifesting through the Nijavatara, the 1098th living incarnation of Paramashivoham, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself, and we will receive the blessings and initiation to awaken the wealth consciousness in us. So let's understand, what is the significance of today, the Vaikunta Ekadashi? Bhagavan, first let us understand how Bhagavan Venkateshwara exists in his physical form. Whether you want to realize the value of the diamond or you want to beg, both have to reach the world. Both need to take the responsibility. So even wealth is wealth only if you take responsibility to make it current. Yaksha is not Lakshmi. Kubera is not Lakshmi. This whole story, the beautiful story of Venkateshwara borrowing from Kubera for his marriage, is an amazing concept. So if many of you do not know, when Bhagavan Venkateshwara came down to marry Devi Lakshmi as Padmavati, Vishnu came down as Bhagavan Venkateshwara to marry Devi Lakshmi as Padmavati, the Venkateshwara, Bhagavan Venkateshwara, had actually borrowed wealth from Kubera. And so it's understood today that even today, Bhagavan Venkateshwara is still paying back that debt to Kubera just to keep this flow of wealth continuing, that Bhagavan Venkateshwara has taken out this loan from Kubera. So in this, it describes that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself has described about this story of Bhagavan Venkateshwara. And he states this whole story, beautiful story of Venkateshwara. The borrowing from Kubera for his marriage is an amazing concept. He is making Yaksha to Lakshmi. He is making reserve to reserve. Understand, he is making the reserve to reserve. Dam has no use. If you can't produce current out of it and reach it to the people, it is an amazing truth. There is a village folk story where Venkateshwara borrows from Kubera for his marriage, and he is still paying off that debt. Are, don't you understand? It is an amazing truth. Fellow who has Lakshmi on his chest needs to borrow from Kubera. It's one of the important truths revealed. Venkateshwara takes the responsibility of reserve to reserve. And the story ends with a beautiful line. Till the end of Kali Yuga, he'll be paying out only the interest. In the end of Kali Yuga, only he will pay the whole capital. If he pays the capital, the current will stop, economy will stop, whole thing will become part of the reserve, and life is over. So you can see the great Tyaga of Bhagavan Venkateshwara by taking out this loan from Kubera and keeping the money currency, keeping currency current, and just keeping this whole Bhuloka still functioning. So the Vaikuntha Ekadashi, let's understand the history of the Vaikuntha Ekadashi. It's one of the most important and auspicious days for devotees of Bhagavan Vishnu. It is dedicated to Bhagavan Venkateshwara, and on this auspicious day, Bhagavan Venkateshwara assures his devotees liberation in both the inner and the outer world. The significance of Vaikuntha Ekadashi is mentioned in the Padma Purana. The Devas are unable to bear the tyranny of Murin, a demon, and approached Paramashiva, who directed them to Bhagavan Vishnu, and a battle ensued between Bhagavan Vishnu and this demon. And the Lord Bhagavan Vishnu decided to create a new weapon, and in order to slay this demon. In order to take rest and create a new weapon, the Lord Bhagavan Venkateshwara retired to a cave called Mavati in Bhadrikashram. And when this demon tried to slay Bhagavan Venkateshwara, who was sleeping, the female energy that emerged from Bhagavan Venkateshwara burned him to ashes in one look. And Bhagavan Vishnu opened the gate of Vaikuntha, his abode, for the two demons, in spite of them being against him. They also asked for the boon that whoever listens to their story and sees the image of Bhagavan Vishnu coming out of the door, the Dvar, called the Vaikuntha Dvar, will reach Vaikuntha as well. So this has great significance today for all of us who will be able to directly reach Vaikuntha with the very darshan of Bhagavan Venkateshwara on this day. So let us understand a little bit more about the significance of this. Vaikuntham is a state and a space where there is only abundance. Vaikuntha Ekadashi is the day when Vaikuntha Dvaram, or the gates to Vaikuntha, are kept open for anybody to walk in. Anyone who enters the Vaikuntha Dvara on this day is guaranteed to attain the spiritual abode. So today is the gates of Vaikuntha are open for anyone and everyone to experience Vaikuntha. So there's a very special jewel that is worn on this Vaikuntha Ekadashi. And this jewel that Bhagavan Venkateshwara wears is called the Vaidurya jewel, and it is on his right chest. And he only wears it on this very special day, the Vaikuntha Ekadashi, on the Srivatsam. And the Vaidurya diamond is at least 1,000 years old, older than the diamonds. And that jewel has come out of the churning of the Milky Ocean. And there's only one piece available in the entire planet Earth, the one Bhagavan Venkateshwara himself is wearing. So if you are experiencing being stuck in the wealth dimension, today is the day to worship Bhagavan Venkateshwara and receive his blessings for attaining success in both the inner world and in the outer world. So if you are stuck with wealth, we need to understand what is the reason we are not able to manifest wealth. So let's look at some of the thought prints that we may be having that are stopping us from manifesting wealth. You may believe that generating wealth is hard. You may believe that I'm not born in a wealthy family, that I don't have enough wealth to start making more wealth, that people think I cannot generate wealth by doing what I like, and that I'm impractical. And you may believe I have to give up my freedom, like my health, likes, relationships, goals, and dreams to make wealth. And even if I generate wealth, it doesn't stay with me and leaves me, so I have to make a lot of wealth. And to make large wealth, I need to cheat and be corrupted. So other thought prints you may be carrying about wealth that may be stopping us from manifesting wealth is that once I am wealthy, I have bigger problems to attend and safeguard my wealth. If I become wealthy and successful, I will attract more enemies and lose my friendship. People will start liking me for the money that I have and not really me. More wealth is uncontrolled freedom that leads to bad habits and lifestyles. And many times we don't want to be wealthy, looking at some of the wrong examples. So we may be stuck with wealth because of all of these reasons. They may sound factually correct, but they are not. So what is the real reason that we may not be manifesting wealth? The actual reason that we don't manifest wealth is that our fundamental ideas and understandings of wealth is wrong. Our very diagnosis of why we are not manifesting wealth is wrong. Our ideas of wealthy people are wrong. That pretty much sums to everything that we know about wealth is wrong, which is the reason that we don't manifest wealth. So now let us have the correct understanding about wealth. What is wealth? So according to Wikipedia, wealth is the abundance of valuable financial assets or physical possessions, which can be converted into a form that can be used for transactions. And it goes on. And this is according to what modern day understanding is of wealth. We've all heard of it. We don't need to necessarily go into depth about this. So let's now look at wealth as per Investopedia. Wealth measures the value of all the assets of worth owned by a person, community, company, or country. Wealth is determined by taking the total market value of all the physical intangible assets owned, then subtracting all the debts. Essentially, wealth is the accumulation of scarce resources. So I'm not sure what any of that means to any of you, but this is not the actual definition of wealth as per Hinduism. Here is another definition according to Cambridge University. So let's actually look at the real definition of wealth as per Hinduism. As per Hinduism, wealth is not just an object or a thing as we've seen in the definitions according to modern day. It is an extension of you. Anything that adds to you is wealth. The quality of your health that you enjoy, the state of your relationships, the fulfillment you experience in your career, your mental state, your sense of inner fulfillment. All of these are measures of the success with which you have created wealth in your life. Wealth is not just money or currency. Money is one type of wealth. Currency is another type of wealth. And the assets are another type of wealth. But being alive, active, is actually a type of wealth. All four of these put together, money, currency, assets, being active, alive, wealth is wealth. Wealth can be equated to the life energy that you express. And all of these dimensions of wealth are just that, the expression of your life energy. Yes, so now let us understand as per Yes, so now let us look at what is wealth consciousness. Wealth consciousness means making a clear decision to break out of the myths and mental patterns that impoverish us and draw us again and again into the poverty cycle. So life can be equated to two things. One is the ability to achieve what you want in the inner and the outer world, or the other option is just getting stuck in both the worlds. Wealth itself is not wrong. Your concept of wealth, if it is correct and proper, not only will it not be wrong, it will be right. If you have wealth, at least as the goal of if you have at least the goal of creating wealth in your life, you will be creative. Your energy will be channeled properly. So creating wealth is not something wrong. It is intense creative energy. And so a few basic concepts about wealth that we need to understand. When a man decides to create wealth, not steal, understand, creating wealth, you will have wealth and the great fulfillment that you lived. And your whole energy will be towards the creation, not destruction of others. The people who are interested in destroying others and harassing them, they're completely dull, dead. In their very consciousness, they are poor. If you are grabbing from others without contributing anything, that is called a sin. Those methods of grabbing, stealing, robbing is wrong, sin. So creating wealth is an intrinsic part of life. The first priority in life should always be for moksha, enlightenment. Till that happens, the second priority in life can be wealth, creating wealth. Anything else is a third priority. So first, remove the guilt about wealth from your life. Second, understand the expression of wealth through you is equivalent to the wealth that you create, not grab, but that you create. So now let us understand diagnosing why we are not manifesting wealth. So first, we need to have the right diagnosis of why we're not manifesting wealth. Everybody wants to have wealth in their life, but they do not increase the life energy in them to the level that they want it. Wealth can be equated to the life energy you express. It is a straight equation because as of now, a normal man has wealth as the first priority in life. So if you do not have wealth, do not blame anybody. You are not expressing life in you. Life energy is not happening inside of you. So you don't manifest what you want, what you desire. You manifest what you believe. You manifest your cognitions, what you cognize and perceive as reality. Many of us, so we need to understand the gap between our beliefs and our desires. Many of us feel that I really desire wealth, but deep down you believe wealthy people are arrogant people, bad people, they do a lot of wrong things. So if you carry this belief, wealthy people are arrogant, bad, wrong, they do wrong things and exploit others, you have this cognition, this belief, how will you manifest wealth in your life? Your perception is the key. Your perception is the material out of which your reality is made. If you desire wealth, but you believe, perceive, cognize wealthy people are bad, or wealth is too much responsibility, naturally, you will not manifest wealth in your life. The gap between your desire and your perception is called mental patterns. So now let us look at some of the common beliefs that you may be carrying about wealth. So one of the most common beliefs that many of us carry is that wealthy people are arrogant or bad people. So we carry the deep resistance of wealth, leading us to not accumulate wealth. And even if we accumulate wealth, we carry the guilt of wealth. So this is not the truth. Arrogance does not come by wealth. Arrogant people will be arrogant whether they have wealth or not. Arrogance means behaving as if you are more important than others or know more than others. So however, we wrongly associate wealth to arrogance and create a pattern and start hating wealth as well, the same way that we hate arrogance. Another common belief that many of us carry is that poverty is good. Deep inside of us, we label poverty as a good quality. We feel reverence and respect for poverty. If this is the case, how will we manifest wealth? At least when you brag about your wealth and try to create an identity, you will be little intelligent because society would have beaten you and you would have learned a lot of lessons from society and you will become more creative. But if you are bragging about your poverty and creating identity that is the worst cunning identity, not creating wealth is a sin. This is an important understanding that we need to have. Not creating wealth, not having that creative life energy inside of you is a sin. Just like grabbing, stealing, accumulating wealth in a wrong way is a sin, the same way not creating and being poor is a sin. So another common belief that many of us carry is that handling wealth is more responsibility. We may feel uncomfortable, whatever I want, I will not get it. Maybe you came to this conclusion by looking at some wealthy people who did not have any time for themselves. And some of the other inadequate beliefs that we may be carrying about wealth is that making money is a sin. However, this is not true. Create as much wealth as you can, celebrate it, share it. Wealth consciousness is high creativity with high responsibility. We also may believe that wealthy people work smart, not hard. Again, this is not true. Do not be too lazy to bend your body and mind to realize your dreams. If you read the story of any famous millionaire today, you will see that wealth did not come from a genie in a bottle. Comes from hard work. And then another inadequate belief that we may be carrying is that you have to be worthy of wealth. However, this is not true either. Wealth serves those who are wealthy in their very consciousness. So anything that you cognize, you create a certain energy field about your cognition. You attract situations, people, everything around you to make that cognition into reality. All you need is will persistence. Your decision, you are not going to give up. Your intention is will persistence. So first, we need to repair our mental patterns. Your mental patterns go on affecting you, but you always tell yourself, I'm too busy to repair myself. It's like sitting in a broken car and going on, rotating the handle, or pushing and pulling the gears, doing whatever you want. You're not going to move 1 inch. And if somebody says to you, why don't you repair your broken car? You're not moving anywhere. You tell them, no, I'm too busy to repair. I can't get down now and repair because I'm busily, hurriedly going to some place. This is utter stupidity. So first, you need to understand that it is possible. You may be desiring to have wealth, but you may not be believing, perceiving, cognizing it as your possibility. The first and foremost important step that we need to do is create an energy field of attracting wealth around us. So now let us understand the secrets of attracting wealth as revealed by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself.
Of me or all over the world. I'll do it. The first step we need to do, looking back, the gap between your desire and your cognitions. How you started perceiving wealth, money. How you started perceiving. I can tell you a small story. First time, how I was introduced to money and started interacting with money. I still remember my 3rd birthday. My father has given me a Ganesha who actually ate food. If you have read my biography, you would have read the incident. If you are interested, you can go to YouTube where I have narrated the whole story. I was given that Ganesha as a gift and I was so curious and busy with playing with the deity. And then in Indian village we have a habit, all the family elders will give coins on the birthday as a gift to the kids. So I was sitting and playing with my Ganesha and all the family elders came. I am supposed to bow down to them. It's a tradition. So I touch their feet and they will give money. A lot of money got collected. Must be some 70-80 rupees. In those days it's a big money. And for a kid it's a too big money. And it was too much of coins and notes, so my father helped me to pack the whole thing in a hand key. So I looked at him and asked, what should I do with this? He said, you can buy whatever you want. I said, I don't need anything. I only wanted this Ganesha. You already gave it to me. I don't need anything. He said, then you can give it to anybody you want. So I just called all my cousins, brothers, everyone was playing. I grew up in a large joint family. 27 of us grew up together. So it's almost like a one school, small school. So all of them are playing. I called in my loud voice, "Hey, anybody wants come and take this money? I don't want it." So 4-5 kids were running, and my elder brother ran fast and took the whole thing, whole hand key. My father told me to tell my elder brother to share everyone, to share with all. I said, I have decided I don't want. And I said, whoever wants, take it. So he took it. How can I interfere in this after that? It's up to him. I will not even interfere, giving any further instruction to how they should share or who should share and all that. I said, I don't want. That's my first relationship with money. I still see very clearly that's the same relationship. Still, I don't touch money. I don't handle. Never felt the need. Anyhow, I am not saying this should be your pattern or this should be your. I am just giving you an example how I started relating with. So now dig out how you started relating with money. That was actually my completion with money. I touched first time money only to give dana. Still I am doing the same thing. Still I touch money only to give dana. How you cognized money, wealth, what all your perceptions and beliefs and cognitions about money. Let's dig out. Let's get them out first. The moment you remember money, does it bring tremendous pain, suffering, impossibility, all that in you? What is the emotion or energy it invokes in you? So put your pen to paper and just keep writing whatever comes to your mind. If you feel tortured, irritated, the moment you think of money, whatever you think, money is difficult, money is impossible, money is, unless you cheat, you can't get the money. Even if you cheat it, somebody will cheat from you. So much goes on inside you about money. Your incompletions with money. Just spend few minutes and let's dig out all the incompletions, mental patterns we have, perceptions, beliefs and cognitions we have about money. Listen, the first step we need to do now, cleaning up, completing these mental thought patterns, the incompletion patterns related to wealth, and stopping them from recurring. Please understand, biggest problem is when you do not recognize something as a pattern, it continues to exist in you and recur. Please understand. Recurring, for example, today you remember, yes, I have a lot of incompletions and patterns. Incompletion means, let me define. Your past sitting in your present, not letting you live your future is incompletion. It has no logic. Because you lost love of somebody, you decide never to love again. It has no logic. tons of negative decisions, cognitions you make about life is incompletion. I'll give you one small example. 8-year-old kid is in the classroom. Teacher asks, who is the first Prime Minister of India? The kid jumps on the bench and shouts, Mahatma Gandhi. Naturally, the whole class laughs, because Mahatma Gandhi is not, neither is Mahatma nor he is first Prime Minister. Okay, that you leave it. When the whole class laughs, she decides never to come in the front, jump up and be active. Even after 50 years, if she becomes a CEO of a company, in the team meeting, she will be telling her ideas to somebody else and somebody else will be presenting. Even if she is the head of the meeting, she will continue to suffer the decision she made at the age of 8. How many of you see this is happening even in your life in some form? That is what I call incompletion. Understand, there is a very powerful science by Sadashiva in Agama. Sadashiva is the first Guru, Adi Guru. He explains in Agama, of course, the moment I utter this word, many will have many questions. What? Sadashiva? He was supposed to be God. Was he Guru? He was supposed to be energy. Was he teaching? Let me be very clear. He is the pure consciousness beyond time and space, but he also assumed form within the time and space. The formless came in form many times and taught the great spiritual truths to the world. We should not even use the word was. Is the right word. He gives a beautiful science of completing with this incompletion patterns, known, unknown. Understand, if you know the reason for certain pattern, it is called known pattern. If you don't know, it is unknown pattern. Sometimes you will have a heaviness, suffocation, but you don't even know why. That is unknown pattern. Sometimes you know why you are going through what you are going through. That is known pattern. Known or unknown, you can complete. You can be out of it. It is possible. It is possible. I'll explain this science of completion. Understand, this one technique can help you whether you want to get rid of your headache or your whole ignorance and get into enlightenment. Whether you want as simple as healing your headache or as complicated as enlightenment. Anything, this one technique can give you. This one technique, it is a complete end-to-end, alpha to omega. It's from Sadashiva directly. In the Agama, 94th verse, 22nd technique. The chapter is called Shivajnanopanishad and also called as Vijnana Bhairava. chittatyanta kritirnasti mamantar bhavayet iti vigalpanam abhavena vigalpair uchito bhavet. You don't have to remember. I am uttering every time so that I will remember. That's all. No, it is just to keep the purity of the teaching. I want all of you to know, whatever I am sharing with you is my personal enlightenment experience, which is in tune with the earlier master's experience. My Apta Pramana, my Atma Pramana in tune with the Apta Pramana, means the earlier masters, the Shastra Pramana. Only that can become your Sakshi Pramana. Never learn from a person who does not have Atma Pramana, enlightenment. He will be only Pandit, repeating. Same way, never learn from a person who claims yes, enlightenment, but does not keep his experience in tune with the Shastra Pramana and shares with you. It's always dangerous. Maybe it must have been good for him, but we don't know whether it is good for all of you. The Atma Pramana should always be acid washed with Apta Pramana, Shastra Pramana. Only that can become Sakshi Pramana, experiential reality for you. Never learn from anybody who has only knowledge, not experience. Same way, never learn from somebody who claims having only experience and does not connect, purify, make it in tune with the Shastra and presents it to you. There is always a danger. If you don't bother about the Shastra Pramana, you may be having kakka biryani. Be careful. Listen. To keep the purity of the teachings, I keep the original Sanskrit verses. I'll give you the translation now. Consciously feel within the mind stuff of past memories of incompletion with its activities as mind, intellect and ego not existing in me. By contemplating this way in your inner space, disidentify from the past impressions and memories of completion. Put your active attention at the space of past happening. Relive these imagined impressions and memories of incompletion. Then the mind stop having fully ceased from its present characteristics of forming thought patterns and cognitions is complete. Thus you become complete and achieve the original space of complete completion. Listen. Now I will explain. I have read out the translation. I will explain what to do. Now you wrote many of the patterns, incompletions, thought currents you are having about money, ideas, cognitions you developed about money from the young age. Do only one thing. Just go back to that same age when the incidents happened in you, the cognition started building in you, the beliefs started building in you, the idea started building in you, the perception started building in you. Relive the same situation. I am not asking you just remember. Remembering means, for example, something happened at the age of 7 which is still hurting you about money. You asked 1 rupee from your uncle and he did not give, but he gave it to his son. It's still sitting and hurting. If now you are 47, this happened 7, You being 47-year-old person and remembering what happened at the age of 7 is remembering. Forget you are 47. Forget who you are now. You may be having millions. Just become that 7-year-old who asked and did not receive. For you, that 1 rupee must have been almost life. I have seen people, they develop even wheezing when they were not given as simple as a chocolate or an ice cream by their friend or family or brother. I have seen. Because for a child, it may be life. Just go back, forget who you are now. Become that person. When that incident happened, relive. Just see what has happened at that time. You will see many of the unknown, suppressed emotions will break. And I tell you, many diseases will be healed. I have seen people walking out of tumors, cancers, asthma, wheezing, just by completion. Because many of your diseases have their roots in some of the incompletions of the past. When you relive, many pain parts in you breaks. Pain bodies collapse. The pain patterns melt down, which completes many other issues which you don't even remember. I have seen when people do completion, to complete the wealth-related incompletions, suddenly they get into health, because the same incompletions which created wealth issues only were creating health issues. When they melt down, people become free even from both. Listen carefully. I'll repeat once more. Now you would have written so many patterns, incompletions, thought currents, ideas, cognitions. Take few minutes. Go back to each incident, each pain, each hurting. Relive. 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 Don't justify what happened. Don't try to console yourself. No consolation will work. No justification will work. Neither help others nor try to help yourself. Just relive. I've seen when somebody has tears, others try to console. No, relax. You are not more compassionate than me. Let me do that job. You don't interfere in my job. Let you just go through. Even you don't try to console yourself. That is not going to work. If something has to break inside, let it break. It's okay. When you relive, the powerlessness, incompletion, loses power over you. I'll guide you step by step. And I commit with you, I'll lead you all to completion. And I know how to awaken, trigger the incompletions in you and break them. Help you to relive and relieve. I am supporting all of you. Have courage. Let's clean up.
Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham. Om Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham.
We welcome you all back for this Kailasa's Vaikuntha Vasa Darshan. It is just about to start. In just 1 hour, we are going to be receiving the live darshan of Bhagavan Venkateshwara, the Vaikuntha Vasa Darshan on this Vaikuntha Ekadashi. And now, as we all watched the Nithyananda SATSANG and we all understood about creating how to become a magnetic field to attract wealth, let us now go through a quick exercise to understand. Swamiji beautifully explained to us in this video about how intense excitement to life is wealth. And now let us do a quick exercise. We request everyone to take a few minutes. The first step to becoming a magnetic field to attract wealth is to clean up all the incompletions and patterns that you carry about wealth and creating a right space, a powerful magnetic energy center in you.
See, to attract wealth, situations and people that support you to create the wealth, like a magnetic energy center for manifesting the wealth the way you want. Take out all the incompletions that you have about money. Keep writing whatever comes to your mind. The moment you remember money, does it bring tremendous pain, suffering, impossibility, all that in you? What is the emotion or energy it invokes in you? So please take a moment now and start penning that down.
You all can make a note of this exercise. And now we'll be taking out this second step in the interest of time. The second part of this exercise is the moment you think of money, whatever you feel and think, like you may have different ideas and opinions, like, oh, money is difficult, money is impossible, unless you cheat, you can't get money. And even if you cheat, somebody will cheat from you. All the ideas and incompletions that you carry about wealth, please write it down. See, so much goes on inside you about money, your incompletions with money. Just spend few minutes and let's dig out all the incompletions, beliefs, mental patterns we have, perceptions, beliefs, and cognitions that we have about money.
Anything, any cognition, any belief that you care about money, then that. So each belief or cognition starts from a particular incident. These incidents, you have to identify them. Wherever the wrong or incomplete beliefs about wealth has started forming in you, identify those incidents in life, feel it and relieve them. Complete those incompletions. Go back to that same age when the incident happened, when the idea, the belief, the perception started building inside you. Now we're going to be continuing with the further segment, which is wealth creation in the Hindu way. Creating wealth makes you non-violent because your whole energy becomes creative. Creating wealth brings tremendous interest in life and non-violence. Creating wealth is an intrinsic part of life. Krishna says very beautifully in Gita, Gahano karmano gatihi. The universe by its very nature works, works, works. If you have at least the goal of creating wealth, you will be creative. Your energy will be channeled properly. There are two dimensions of wealth creation, Shankanidhi and Padmanidhi.
Now, the Shankanidhi means conquered wealth. Conquered is not in the negative connotation, it is conquered from natural resources. Padmanidhi means flowered wealth, like a lotus, created. Padmanidhi is made to flower from the natural resources.
I apologize for the technical glitch. So the other two dimensions, there are two more dimensions for the wealth sustenance. First we saw the two. Now we are seeing the two dimensions of the wealth sustenance. Two types, Kubera and Lakshmi. Kubera holds the wealth, sits on the wealth. Example, the treasury, stock market. Kubera enjoys a subtle power that holding wealth can bring. Whereas Lakshmi represents the wealth that is flowing, circulating, current. Lakshmi uses the wealth to enrich herself and the world. Lakshmi creates wealth effortlessly, uses it freely, distributes it unconditionally. So now the next step after completion is to consciously decide what you want to manifest in the next 3 months in the wealth dimension. Understand, it's a very, very powerful process. Anything that you want to manifest, especially in the wealth dimension, simply this can help you manifest. Write clearly what is your intention. What is it that you want to manifest in the next 3 months in the field of wealth? All of us are understanding? Write clearly what you want to manifest in the next 3 months.
See,
So whatever you think as well, like you may think more than money, more currency, a person as a wealth for your life, or situations as wealth for your life, or for some being active. People feel even extraordinary powers as wealth. So whatever you consider as your wealth that you want to manifest and attract in the next 3 months, spend that time.
Now, as all of us complete, see, each of us take effort to complete. Now, when once you put one step, you will be able to complete, you'll break your patterns, everything. But ultimately, one of the most powerful way, what is known, unknown, to complete both, it is through Guru's grace. With deep devotion and oneness with Guru, you can complete all the binding cognitions on wealth and manifest life with prosperity and abundance. There is a very beautiful verse from Guru Gita. It says,
Gukarastvandhakarascha Rukarastteja uchyate Ajnanagrasakam Brahma Gurureva na samshayaha. The syllable Gu is darkness and the syllable Ru is said to be light. There is no doubt that the Guru is indeed the supreme knowledge that swallows the darkness of ignorance. Guru Murtin Smare Nityam Guru Nama Sadha Japet Guru Rajñam Prakurvita Guru Ranyanna Bhavayet.
always remember the Guru's form. Constantly repeat the divine name given by the Guru. Always follow the Guru's commands. And never think of anything other than the Guru. Sarva Papa Vishuddhatma Shri Guru Pada Sevanat Dehi Brahma Bhavedasmat Tvat Kripartam Vadami Te. Out of compassion for you, I shall tell you how the embodied soul becomes Brahman, having been purified by all the sins by serving the feet of the Guru. Thus, the words of Paramashiva himself to Parashakti about Guru. Now, what is the best way to experience a breakthrough? Understand, any pattern you want to complete in life, anything, no matter what, when you put in effort, of course, there is a completion, like you take your step to do it. But with the Guru, simply he removes the known, unknown, possible, impossible, everything from you and gives you that pure energy to manifest. He creates the reality for you. That is why Guru is not a Vyakti. He's not a person as we imagine. He's not a mere form. He is a Tattva, a principle. He is simply a physical representation of the divine. In the Vedic tradition, the spiritual teacher, the Guru, is said to be more important than God himself. God is always everywhere, but it is a Guru who opens the disciples' eyes to the existence of God. Guru is the doorway for one to experience God or divine. Guru Bhakti is an intense, pure feeling connection with the Guru. Guru exists as embodied form of God, Paramashiva, and Paramashiva is the unmanifest of Guru. God is a state of Guru, and Guru is a statement of God. Guru is a manifestation of Paramashiva, and Paramashiva is the unmanifest of existence of Guru.
Guru Bhakti is intense, pure, existential energy which can liberate you from all known, unknown, unnecessary delusions. All of us want to live with wealth and abundance in our lives. We want to live as Bhagavan Venkateshwara. However, we have a question. Is it possible for me? How long will it take for me to realize it? I tried before, but I may not succeed. Is there any way it can be like an instant? Immediately it can happen? Does Hinduism offer a solution that is instant and immediate? So there is a very beautiful tradition called the Niluvathopadi in Tirumala, Tirupati. We were just learning what Guru's creed. We were just learning about this. See, the devotees of Bhagavan Venkateshwara offer whatever they have. Money, gold, jewels, whatever they have. They go and offer it in the Hundiyal as offering their incompletions and karmas at the feet of Venkateshwara. It is an ancient custom still in practice where a devotee offers all the adornments that he or she is wearing at the time of visiting the temple, and they offer it in the temple hundi. Actually, usually the times of disasters, grief, the devotees take a vow and are said to be fulfilled like this once their struggles are past.
Actually, Niluvu Topadi is a very beautiful word by itself. Niluvu is all your karma and everything. Topadi means snatching away. Literally means snatching away. Niluvu Topadi means where Bhagavan Venkateshwara snatches away all your karma, suffering, everything. Usually it's a very beautiful custom followed in Tirumala, Tirupati. To this day, if you visit, you will have a beautiful experience of it. You will see thousands of devotees. They'll all be decked up with gold, jewelry, everything. The moment they see Venkateshwara, the moment their ichha is fulfilled, like the moment they have the darshan, they are so filled out of gratitude, they'll feel like everything is invaluable. They just take and they'll offer all their karmas at the feet of Bhagavan Venkateshwara. Now, today, for all of us, we are having the grace and blessings to have the physical darshan, where you can offer your karmas at the feet of Bhagavan Venkateshwara, at the feet of the Pratyaksha form of Bhagavan Venkateshwara. There's a very beautiful verse from Bhagavad Gita, the 66th verse from the 18th chapter, where Bhagavan Krishna says to Arjuna, Sarvadharman parityajya mameka sharanam braja, aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma suchaha. Bhagavan Krishna says, abandon all the varieties of dharmas and simply surrender unto me alone. I shall liberate you from all the sinful reactions. Do not fear. People seek blessings from Bhagavan Venkateshwara for all kinds of their unfulfilled desires, wants to get through the difficulties of life matters. And they seek the blessings from him by offering the Mokku Baddi, giving in return, or Niluvu Dopidi, offering to the Lord whatever they wear on the body, especially the jewels. It is believed by doing so, doing the above, they get blessed by Bhagavan Venkateshwara and get relieved psychologically. And it is so strongly believed that in the case of failing or neglecting the offerings to the Lord, he would make them offer with interest. That is why Bhagavan Venkateshwara, Balaji, is also named as otherwise. Vaddi Kasula Vadu means he who collects interest for the conscious offerings. For everyone who is watching this right now, today on this Vaikuntha Vasil, on this auspicious darshan, where we are having the darshan of Bhagavan Venkateshwara, the Kali Yuga Daivam, the Lord of the present Kali Yuga, you can offer all your karmas, all the suffering, pain, everything that you had, whatever you went through, just as a conscious offering at the feet of Bhagavan Venkateshwara.
Especially during this COVID time where the pandemic has hit so strongly that people are losing their minds, people are losing the health, in everything, in so many places we are just going down. Understand, all the pain, suffering, karmas that are sitting inside us, just offer them to Bhagavan Venkateshwara. And there's actually another beautiful thing associated with this. This is actually direct power to manifest abundance. We may wonder, how by giving away everything, how can I manifest more? See, understand, only when you cognize yourself as, see, when only if you have something, you can give it, right? And when you're offering everything that is yours to Bhagavan Venkateshwara, it matures is so much consciously, become so consciously rich, the very cognition about you will be filled with so much of abundance, such that you're able to give away all of that. And with that shift which is happening in your deep devotion, that shift will make you as a magnet to attract. Whatever inner blueprint you carry, based on that inner blueprint only, you are attracting things in your life. If you keep carrying the inner blueprint of poverty consciousness, or maybe wealth will not be stable, wealth is whatever, then only those are manifesting outside. Now, when you ferociously, or out of your deep devotion,
Just take everything from head to toe and offer it to Bhagavan Venkateshwara. That devotion will just create a shift inside you. And because of the shift that's created inside, you will just become a magnet to attract wealth. Today, we are having a beautiful blessing. Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam himself has opened this opportunity for thousands of the devotees to offer and be relieved from their thopidi. Today, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism will be gracing us in the Venkateshwara Bhava Samadhi Darshan and accepting our offerings and liberating us from the karmas and incompletions.
Now, let's understand the procedures to offer the Niluvu Thopadi. The first step is you will adorn yourself with all the gold and silver jewels that you have, like how you would like to adorn yourself just in the space of oneness with Bhagavan Venkateshwara, and have the darshan of Bhagavan Venkateshwara looking exactly in the space of oneness, from the space of gratitude and love. And the moment you adorn and you have the darshan, just sit out of the devotion and gratitude, have the darshan of Bhagavan Venkateshwara. And for this, even if you wish to offer with even any amount of money, that also should be fine. An offering of any gold jewelry, precious gems, offering of Niluvu Thopadi will help you in removing all the karmas of lifetimes, as by dropping the various attachments that we surrender ourselves at the feet of Bhagavan Venkateshwara. Now, once after the darshan, so during the darshan, you'll be sitting with all of this. And once the darshan starts, right, once after the darshan, you'll be spreading a clean piece of white cloth. Please make sure it's a clean piece of white cloth, fresh, new white cloth, and arrange all your jewelries, whatever you want to offer. Just connect to Bhagavan Venkateshwara and tell, whatever I have as me, my attachments, everything I'm surrendering to you. Offer what, even, see, it need not be you need to offer like, a huge set of items. No, even if you have one small, let's say you have one ring, but your intense intention to offer the karma is more powerful than even offering 1000 kg gold. So understand, it is the context, the space from which you offer. So whatever is coming, whatever you experience in your inner space, just with that powerful intention, stand in front of the screen and bow down saying, Venkateshwara, today you have come here on this Vaikuntha Vasal, on the Surga, open the gates of Vaikuntha to me. Let me offer all my karmas to you. Please snatch it away from me and remove the jewels and offer it as your karmas. Please understand, the moment you make this declaration, it is not just the gold value. It is not about the gold value. It is about the karmas, your attachments, your patterns, samskaras, which get attached to it.
And also such a deep feeling connection happens with Swamiji. It's a very, very, very beautiful thing.
Now, from the space of abundance, remove all the jewels that you wanted to offer. This should be done only after darshan.
So we're only telling the procedure, but this will be done only during or after the darshan. Niluvu Thopadi happens after you have the darshan of Bhagavan Venkateshwara. So do not do this now. If you want to offer anything, if you feel like offering, just go deck yourself up with the jewels and come and sit. And as you feel like offering, just offer.
And just a reminder to all the viewers, this is not a mandatory process. This is purely an option. We would like to share this with you because this is an exact process. Most of the people, almost everyone who visits Tirupati will do this process, and it's a very powerful way to connect with Bhagavan Venkateshwara. So
and
you
a very powerful
experience
way to manifest wealth. So it's been followed for like thousands of years now, hundreds of years now.
Now, once you arrange all the jewels in the white cloth, you'll be taking a picture of all the jewels and upload them in the form. And you will be putting them together in the cloth carefully and tying them with 3 knots securely. The moment you tie this, that becomes your bag of karmas. So the whole karmas, everything you're knotted in there, and then you will place the cloth with jewels in your puja room. Do not touch, because once the 3 knots are put, you're like packing all your karmas into it. And once that is done, whenever you can go and courier it as soon as possible. Actually, you should be couriering it to the temple where it will be offered to the Nijavatara or to the Pratyaksha Avatara of Bhagavan Venkateshwara. So you may courier your offering to the temple address below. You all can take a few minutes to note the details. It is Nithyanandeshwara Hindu Temple, 14071, Peyton Drive, number 850, Chino Hills, California, 91709. Would like to repeat again. It's Nithyanandeshwara Hindu Temple, 14071, Peyton Drive, hashtag 850, number 850, Chino Hills, California, 91709. And if you are offering it through cash, please you all can go to gateway.nithyananda.org/NHTLA to make your offering there. And to all the viewers that are watching us now, not just having the darshan of Bhagavan Venkateshwara on the Surgavasal day, but all of us have the beautiful opportunity of experiencing 21 days with the avatar, a powerful, intense 21 days, an energy blast of Paramashivoham level 3. And I'm sure this is like buzzing everywhere around Kailasa. So many people are waiting to experience Paramashivoham directly in the presence of the avatar. So to all those who want to experience Paramashivoham, this is the right time to take the jump. When you just see Venkateshwara, if any of you have intention to manifest Paramashivoham, we have a very, very exciting announcement for all of you. You can post your prayers, your intentions to Bhagavan Venkateshwara, and all your wealth obstacles, everything you will receive directly Bhagavan Venkateshwara's blessings for you to manifest Paramashivoham. So please go ahead to all of you that are waiting to clear all your obstacles so you can spend your 21 days of time with the avatar in that intense Paramashivoham level 3 experiencing Paramadvaita. This is the right time. So you all can also visit kailasa.org/Paramashivoham, and please go ahead and make your registration there for Paramashivoham.
Time itself is nothing but your decision to struggle with the same rut. Your decision to struggle with the same rut is time, Kala. Your decision to swallow time is Kala Bhairava. Stand. Be a conscious woman or man. Be conscious being. Shrink the time through conscious will persistence. Make the future into present by being ferocious with yourself. time itself is nothing but your decision to struggle with the same rut. Your decision to struggle with the same rut is time, Kala. Your decision to swallow time is Kala Bhairava. Stand. Be a conscious woman or man. Be conscious being. Shrink the time through conscious will persistence. Make the future into present by being ferocious with yourself.
On this auspicious day of Vaikuntha Ekadashi, let us all get ready now to receive the darshan of Bhagavan Venkateshwara. Let us all now understand about Bhava Samadhi Darshan. Today, Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam, is himself embodied, manifesting as the Nija Avatara of Bhagavan Venkateshwara. Everyone who wishes to offer to Bhagavan Shri Venkateshwara, you all can take a sankalpa and make the offering today. And Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, is the Nija Avatara, as the Nija Avatara of Bhagavan Venkateshwara, will be blessing each and every one of us, giving each and every one of us the boon and science to manifest abundance and prosperity, awakening the wealth consciousness in us. So all of you, those who wish to be part of Paramashivoham, those who wish to manifest wealth, you all can feel free to go ahead and post your comments. You all can post your prayers, requests, everything during live, and Bhagavan Venkateshwara himself will be blessing all of you. Now let us understand.
You can post your comments through the different social media platforms. So first is the YouTube channel, Kailasa SATSANG Nithyananda, the YouTube channel. So first you can click the membership, to join the membership, click the join button, which is provided right next to the channel's name. And you can ask your questions over here. And in Kailasa HDH Nithyananda Paramashivam Facebook page, click the like button and you'll start the following. You'll start following the page. And to ask your questions, you can comment in the comment section. Same way in the Twitter, Kailasa HDH Nithyananda Paramashivam Twitter account. You can click the follow button and follow Ashwini Nithyananda on Twitter and ask your questions in the reply section with a tweet with hashtag Ask the Avatar. We apologize for the technical glitch. So now we are going to be entering into preparing ourselves to receive the darshan of Bhagavan Venkateshwara. Bhava Samadhi Darshan. So what is Bhava Samadhi Darshan? Bhava is defined as directing and activating the emotional and spiritual energy that is created through meditation on the avatar. It is not an event that's happening in time and space. The darshan happens the moment we are lifted out of time and space. During the Bhava Samadhi darshan, our neurons mirror that of the avatar. Actually, we have a beautiful video called Awakening the Non-Mechanical Parts of the Brain, where Swamiji has detailedly elaborated and explained the science behind mirroring of neurons. So the brain neurons mirror and activate and process all the observed movements or information of the avatar just by seeing. Without any physical act of imitation. That means our whole body silently sitting and without any movement recreates what's happening in the avatar inside of us.
The science of Bhava Samadhi Darshan knows no distance, a phenomenon that modern science is just discovering in terms as quantum tunneling. During the Bhava Samadhi Darshan, our thoughts per second significantly reduces and we relax into the space of beyond thoughts and thoughtlessness, becoming mentally at ease in coexisting dimensions beyond duality, where we and the divine become one and same, unconditioned by the parameters of time and space.
Now let's enter into the science of Bhava Samadhi Darshan. Bhava Samadhi Darshan is a science of Nijavatara. Manifesting Nijavatara means the physical embodied form, manifesting the consciousness of Paramashivoham. Understand? Consciousness, pure, formless, that expresses through the being of Paramashiva, through the Divya Sharira, light body, and manifests as the physical embodied form, the Nijavatara, for us to experience Paramashiva. This is called as the Bhava Samadhi Darshan. Today we are going to be having the Bhava Samadhi Darshan of Bhagavan Venkateshwara, where Bhagavan Parandhama, the pure consciousness formed, is expresses through the being of Mahavishnu and manifests as Nijavatara, the physical form of Bhagavan Venkateshwara. The Archavatara in temples, the deities, reflects the consciousness and manifests the being of the superconscious energy. But because the human beings are not mature enough to receive this high level of experiences from the Archavatara directly, the avatar, the physical embodied form, comes down to bridge this gap and to create the experience of superconscious energy inside all of us. When we have the Bhava Samadhi Darshan of the Nijavatara, manifesting beings of various dimensions of Paramashiva, the auspicious components and the powerfulness of those dimensions of Paramashiva are awakened in us. Understand, dimension of Paramashiva manifesting in the Nijavatara, for us to experience the same is Bhava Samadhi Darshan. During the Bhava Samadhi Darshan, our whole being comes alive and celebrates the energy wave of existence. So, direct experience of costlessness. Very muscles learn to imbibe and radiate Paramashiva without any effort from ourselves. Very biomemory awakens to the space of Paramashiva, ultimate consciousness. To have a glimpse of the avatar, to have the darshan of the avatar, cleanses the karmas of lifetimes and creates a deep, lasting transformation. So, what's the best place to receive this darshan from? Gratitude. Because this enables the reflection of consciousness in all levels, physical, psychological, and ultimately the conscious level. Because at this time, all our needs, wants, Satya Sankalpas, everything drops. And in the space of gratitude, we just become pure, ready to reflect the consciousness of Paramashiva. And that is all you need to manifest the best for your life and the lives of the people around you. Now, the right context to be in is, I know you are the source of everything, the Parandhama. You are everything, and you are in the embodied form of the supreme quantum of Hinduism. And you are the one who's in this body too. You are the source of both. Let me connect with you. Let you reveal yourself to me. Let me be in the Bhava Samadhi. Now, in the same space, let us all get ready and prepare ourselves with the Panchopachara Puja.
So we request everyone to take a few minutes. You all can set up your Panchopachara Puja items. Please set up your dhupa and naivedyam, glitnam, deepa, and some flowers, some water, and food offering. And we'll now be entering into the Paramashiva Dhyana Mantra. Yes. The Paramashiva Dhyana Mantra is blessed by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as the Mantra Diksha. Mantra Diksha, where the energy, experience, and powers are transmitted in the form of sacred mantras. Just like how an avatar births himself as the transmits his energy and shaktis through a touch by the Sparsha Diksha and through the words by the Mantra Diksha, similarly an avatar births himself in the form of sacred mantras and transmits his energy experiences to us in the form of sacred chants. Now, the Paramashiva Dhyana Mantra is blessed by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism for anyone to whom this is chanted from the space of oneness and deep blissful awareness. That person is bestowed with health and well-being, wealth, abundance and prosperity, love and fulfilling relationships, enormous growth and success in business, job and finances, and a blissful life manifests without any kind of dosha and evil eyes or any evil efforts in their life. Let us all now enter into the Paramashiva Dhyana Mantra. Today we will be praying to Bhagavan Venkateshwara for all of us to manifest wealth consciousness, breakthroughs in wealth, for all the incompletions about wealth to completely leave our system, for each and every one of us to manifest and awaken the consciousness of wealth and abundance and prosperity.
Now let's all begin the Paramashiva Dhyana Mantra. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Hrim Nithyanandaya Namaha. Om Ham Hom Shivaya Namaha. Om Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatītam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyādirakṣyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatītam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Mopata Samasta Dhritakshaya Dvara Bhagavachi Nithyananda Paramashiva Prityartham Asya Devadevasya Mahadevasya Akhilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayakasya Sakala Jagat Srishti Sthiti Samhara Thiro Bhava Anugrahakya Panchakritya Parayanasya Adimadhyantarhitasya Aprameya Parakramasya Tattvartha Gocharasya Akara Ukara Makaratmaka Pranavatmakasya Vrishabharudhasya Mahadevasya Kamikadivatulanta Mahatantrakya Shaivagama Swarupasya Sakala Nigama Gama Swarupasya Shuddhadvaita Shaiva Swarupasya Nithyananda Padastasya Nithyananda Swarupasya Shuddha Sachidananda Vigrahasya Rupa Rupatitasya Sakala Nishkala Swarupasya Nithya Niranjana Niramaya Nirvikara Khandadi Visheshanasya Shri Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti Sameta Shri Nithyanandeshwara Paramashivasya Shri Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti Sameta Shri Nithyanandeshwara Paramashi Avatara Bhutasya Sarvadeva Devi Swarupasya Bhagavataha Shri Nithyananda Paramashivasya Cha Prityartham Shubhe Shobhane Muhurtyadya Brahmanaha Dvitiya Paradhe Shri Shvetavaraha Kalpe Vaiva Satamanvantare Ashtavimshati Tame Nitya Yuge Pratame Pade Jambo Dvipe Bharata Varshe Bharata Khande Mero Darshine Parshve Shakabde Asmin Vartamane Vyavaharike Prabhavadinam Shrishtiyaha Samvatsarana Madhye Shubhanam Samvatsare Shubhayane Shubharitau Shubhamase Shubhakshe Shubhatitau Shubhavasarayuktayam Shubhanakshatra Shubhayoga Shubhakarana Evam Guna Visheshena Vishishtayam Asyam Shubhalitau Adi Kailase Kalparikshasya Dhaha Nithyananda Nagare Smrita Smritana Muktidayake Mahakshetre. Now we request all the participants, whether you're offering this mantra for yourself or for someone else, if you're offering for a male, kindly chant the male names now.
Namadheyasya.
Now, we request all the participants, whether you're offering this mantra for yourself or for someone else. If you're offering for a female, kindly chant the female names now.
Namnyaha cha yajamanaanamavayoho sahakutumbanam bandhuvarganam dhayadivarganam mitravarganam sodaravarganam samesham sarvabhisha siddhyatam sarvamangalavapyatam uttarottaranavachinna sthiralakshmi prapyatam kutumbe sarvesham sarvabhisha siddhyatam chintita manorathavapyatam samesham adhivyadhinivrityartam samesham shiradipada vidyamanaanam sameshu angeshu janita janishyamana sakala vidha nana vidaroganam vyapohartam tadvara rogadridagatravapu siddhyartam samesham parekartribhishcha kritakarishymana sakala vidha mantra tantra yantra vishachurna abhichara stambhana marana uchchatana vidveshana vashikaranadi mantrika prayogevyaha rakshana praptyatam tadvara samesham sarvabhisha siddhyatam apamrityu dosha nivrityartam kala mrityu akala mrityu dhurmrityu nivrityartam samesham antardrishti bahi drishti krura drishti vyapara drishti anukula drishti pratikula drishti ityadi sakala vida drishta dosha nivrityartam samesham antarshatru bahi shatru krura shatru vyapara shatru anukula shatru pratikula shatru ityadi sakala vida shatru bada nivrityartam samesham matrashapadi sakala vida shapana vyapohanatam anadi avidyavasanaya pravartamane asmin mahati samsara chakre vichitrabihi karmagatibihi vichitrasu yonishu punah punah anekadha janitva kenapi punyakarma visheshena bhagavatah Shri Nithyananda Paramashivasya aparimitaya kripaya idanim tana manushya janma praptavatam ब्रह्महत्या सुरापान स्वर्णस्तेय गुरुतल्पगमन तत्संसर्गाख्य पंचमहापातकादि समस्त पाप व्यतिरिक्तार्थम् अपि च सर्वै बाल्ये वयसि कौमारे यौवने वार्धक्ये च जाग्रत् स्वप्न सुषुप्ति अवस्थासु कर्मेन्द्रिय ज्ञानेन्द्रिय व्यापारैः सम्भावितानां रहस्यकृतानां प्रकाशकृतानाम् अतिपातकानाम् उपपातकानां संकलीकरणानां मलिनीकरणानाम् अपात्रीकरणानां जाति भ्रंशकानां प्रकीर्तितानाम् एवं नवानां नवविधानां बहूनां बहुविधानां सर्वेषां पापानां सद्यः अपनोदन द्वारा समस्त मंगल प्राप्त्यर्थं शिव भक्ति देवी भक्ति गुरु भक्ति सिद्ध्यर्थं परमशिवत्व परमेश्वर स्थिति परमेश्वर शक्ति सिद्ध्यर्थं कुटुंबे सर्वदा सन्मंगल प्राप्त्यर्थं अन्योन्य प्रेमाभिवृद्ध्यर्थं पूर्णत्व सिद्ध्यर्थं सर्वापनिवृद्ध्यर्थं प्रारोग्यवाप्त्यर्थं आयुर्विवृद्ध्यर्थं व्यापारे उद्योगे च सर्वजन वशीकरणार्थं तद्वारा उन्नतोन्नत स्थान प्राप्त्यर्थं बहुधन सौख्य प्राप्त्यर्थं गृह कनक पशुपुत्र धनधान्य सौख्य प्राप्त्यर्थं आदित्यादीनां नवानां ग्रहाणां दोषपीडा निवारणार्थं आदित्यादीनां नवानां ग्रहाणां अनुकूल्यता सिद्ध्यर्थं भूम्यन्तरिक्षे विद्यमान भूत प्रेत पिशाच राक्षस ब्रह्म राक्षस वेताल कुष्मांड डाकिनी शाकिनी इत्यादि सर्वारिष्ट निवारणार्थं मनोव्याकुलता निवारणार्थं प्रारब्धे कर्मणि करिष्यमाणे कर्मणि आदिदैविकादि भौतिक आध्यात्मिक विघ्न निवारणार्थं समस्त ऋण निवारणार्थं धनलक्ष्मी धान्यलक्ष्मी संतानलक्ष्मी सौभाग्यलक्ष्मी विद्यालक्ष्मी शौर्यलक्ष्मी वीरलक्ष्मी विजयलक्ष्मी इत्यादि अष्टलक्ष्मी परिपूर्ण कृपा कटाक्ष सिद्ध्यर्थं परीक्षासु उन्नत स्थाने विजय प्राप्त्यर्थं सर्व विद्या पारंगता सिद्ध्यर्थं मेधा शक्ति ग्रहण शक्ति अभिवृद्ध्यर्थं इत्यादि सकलविध सन्मंगलानि गुरु कृपा कटाक्षेन प्राप्त्यर्थं श्री कैलासो नद द्वादशान्त श्यामला पीठारूढ़ श्री मीनाक्षी सुंदरेश्वर भिन्न स्वरूप परशिवपुत्र रत्न कुमार गुरुमन्य तुल्यावतार श्री पार्वती स्तन्यपान लब्ध दिव्य ज्ञान विश्रुत सकल निगमागम सारभूत द्राविड वेद प्रभत्र श्रीमत् परमशिव करुणा समधिगत मुक्तामय चतुरश्रयान गीयमान छत्र चामर श्री चिन्ह कालादि समस्त बिरदावल्यलंकृत ज्ञान विज्ञान चक्रवर्ती सर्वजन संग सद्यो निर्वाण दीक्षा व्याप वर्ग वर्ष विश्रान जीमूत परमत कलभ केसरी शैव सिद्धांत स्थापनाचार्य श्री राजाधिराज पांड्य महाराज गुरु क्षपन शाक्यादि महांधकार निवारण ज्ञान भानु वीक्षणा नरहार ध्वजोच्छेदन पूर्वक श्रीमद् ऋषभध्वज स्थापक शैव समय कर्तृ सर्वज्ञ पीठारूढ़ श्री जगत गुरु श्री ज्ञान संबंध देशिक स्वामी वागीश सुंदर माणिक्य वाचक स्वामी नाम अवतार भूत श्री ज्ञान संबंध स्वामी पुनरुद्धृत श्यामला पीठ सर्वज्ञ पीठ प्रणवद्युत्तर द्विशतम गुरु महासन्निधान अरुणगिरि योगीश्वर परंपरागत अरुणाचल सर्वज्ञ पीठ गुरु महासन्निधान कैलास परंपरागत कांची कैलास सर्वज्ञ पीठ त्रयस्त्रिंशदुत्तर द्विशतम गुरु महासन्निधान नित्योत्सव नित्य मंगल नित्य कल्याण नित्य कैलास परंपरागत आदि कैलास नित्यानंद पीठ महासमस्थान महासिंहासन पीठ कर्तृ साक्षात् श्री परमेश्वर समुद्भूत कैलास परंपरागत वैवस्वत मनीक्षा चंद्र भगीरथ श्री रामचंद्र शूरसेन इत्यादि अनव चिन्ह सार्वभौम चक्रवर्ती परंपरागत चतुष्षष्टि योगिनी मंडित चतुष्षष्टि संप्रदाय प्रवर्तक मनुधर्म शासन सूर्यवंश प्राप्त सर्वज्ञ पीठ सुरांगी साम्राज्य मूर्धाभिषिक्त चूड़ामणि साक्षात् श्री परमेश्वर समुद्भूत कपिल महागुरु पुनरुद्धृत महानिर्वाणी पीठ स्तोत्र सहस्त्र श्री महामंडलेश्वर साक्षात् श्री परमेश्वर सिंहासनाभिषिक्त समस्त गणनायक श्री महागणपति समारंभ हनुमत चिन्ह पीठाधीश्वर गुरु परंपरा प्राप्त अटल पीठ अष्टोत्तर सहस्त्रतम अष्टोत्तर सहस्त्र शर्त पीठाधीश्वर धर्म मुक्ति स्वर्ग पुरस्करण पीठ त्रयोविंश गुरु महासन्निधान कैलास परंपरागत आदि पीठ सर्वज्ञ पीठ जगत गुरु श्री कैलास पुनरुद्धारक श्री कैलास परमाचार्य श्रीमत् परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य वर्य सच्चिदानंद प्रणव स्वरूप श्रोत्रिय ब्रह्मनिष्ठ श्रीमद् जगत गुरु श्रील श्री भगवत श्री नित्यानंद परमेश्वर श्री ज्ञान संबंध देशिक परमाचार्य स्वामी नाम प्रीत्यर्थम तेषां पादारविन्दयोः भक्ति सिद्ध्यर्थम गुरु कृपा कटाक्ष सिद्ध्यर्थम स्थैर्य वीर्य विजयारोग्य ऐश्वर्याणाभिवृद्ध्यर्थम धर्मार्थ कामोक्षविद फल पुरुषार्थ सिद्ध्यर्थम मम समस्त दुरितोपशान्त्यर्थम समस्त मंगलावाप्त्यर्थम भगवत् श्री नित्यानंद परमेश्वर प्रसादेन सकुटुम्बस्य ज्ञान वैराग्य जीवन मुक्ति प्राप्त्यर्थम च श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिवस्य श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिव अवतार भूतस्य सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूपस्य भगवतः श्री नित्यानंद परमशिवस्य च ध्यान षोडशोपचार सर्वोपचार अर्चनाराधन पूजां प्रार्थनां करिष्ये। ओम आनंद गंध निलयाय नमः। ओम भवरोग भेषजाय नमः। ओम कल्पतरवे नमः। पशुपतये नमः। ओम पाशविमोचकाय नमः। ओम ईशितफलदायकाय नमः। भाग्यवृत्ति परिवर्तकाय नमः। ओम आदि व्याधि विनाशकाय नमः। ओम समस्त कल्याण गुणान्विताय नमः। ओम श्री विरधि पुरुषाय नमः। ओम कैशी कैलासपतये नमः। शिवशक्ति स्वरूपाय नमः। ओम ह्रीं नित्यानंदाय नमः। ओम हां हां शिवाय नमः। ओम श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिवाय नमः। ओम श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिव अवतार भूत सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूपाय श्री भगवत श्री नित्यानंद परमशिव श्री ज्ञान संबंध देशिक परमाचार्य स्वामी नमः। ओम नित्यानंदम।
Now, in the same space, let us all get ready to receive the darshan of Bhagavan Venkateshwara. Please sit straight with your head, neck and spine in your straight line. Close your eyes. Breathe in and breathe out deeply and slowly in the deep space of oneness with Bhagavan Venkateshwara.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om 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 Nithyananda Paramashivoham.